I think
Figure
he'll take
out.
it. Yeah.
I mean, baseball has always been this way, but figure out this collection of hitters. You go to Detroit, you stink. You can't hit. You play 9 games against really good teams. You hit really well in 6 or 7 of those games, and then you go to Seattle and you can't hit again. It's now I really like Logan Gilbert. I like him a lot, so I can. That's explainable to me, but it's kind of puzzling the way this attack has worked, hasn't isn't it?
Polanco must really be hurt. He is
Yes,
the one guy. I think for him to fess up and say, my back hurts to
yes.
Rocco is a very impressive acknowledgement of that man's real pain, I believe.
And it's funny about were you in his office about 10 days ago when I asked him about the Polanco as the one warrior? I basically suggested he was the
No.
one warrior they had, and he was saying how he just doesn't never comes in and sees him, never complains about anything. So you're absolutely right. And we all thought it was the ankle, right, that was
Yes.
bothering him, not the. I didn't realize he had a back problem. And this could be overreaction by them too, that he came and said, "Hey, I need a couple of days off," so they'll give him a month. But
They got ambulance outside.
yeah, right.
Call 911.
But boy, they miss him in that lineup. That is he is a good part of that lineup. He's not an everyday guy like Arise as far as contributing, but those days he contributes about 2 or 3 times a week, he really helps them win the ball game because he's a clutch hitter and a hell of a second baseman. And I don't know. So what do you think? You think Kirilloff will be in Arizona Friday or not? The guy's going insane. They don't have a first baseman,
Yeah.
but they don't need left-handed hitting, so they could really afford to move Kepler here and for a pitcher if they could, because they just this guy can really hit. And he was obviously had a bad wrist when he was up here the first time, but they thought so much of him as a hitter as they threw him into the playoff fray when he hadn't had any experience at all. I think when they were in Florida this season, they thought he'd be their third, fourth, or fifth hitter when the season. I mean, he was going to be a big part of this hitting attack, and now that he's red hot, don't wait till he cools off. You don't want to wait till he cools off, right? And
and it wasn't the wrist was. I'm not saying he was a perfect hitter, with a healthy wrist, but the wrist was the biggest question.
Yes.
And obviously, and maybe it's still a long-term question, but it's not a question right now.
No,
So
God Almighty, he's up to 3. He was hitting when this all started. He was hitting like 20, and he's hitting 360.
he has the highest OPS of any AAA hitter across the entire country right now.
Yeah, and it's I know he's left-handed, but I think I'd take my chances against him against a left-handed pitcher over some of the righties they're using. Jose Miranda, he gets
That's the move, right? Just Miranda go back to AAA, and then Kirilloff can play first base. If Polanco's going to be out, or Eyes moves to second.
Yes.
You can use him at DH too. It's a revolving door at DH. So there's places.
And you could keep them both if you weren't so fixated on having to have 14 pitchers. But were you the one that broke the horrible news to me, Judd?
Yeah, on Monday.
Because I was looking forward.
Owners are meeting.
I was looking forward to June 26th when you had to have 13 pitchers because they gave them twice. They've given them extensions, right? Yes. Now you tell me it's on the owners' meeting agenda that they're going to be able to keep 14 pitchers all year.
And here's the bad news too, Pat, is I checked out the White Sox Tigers game before the Twins Mariners yesterday, and Steve Stone on the White Sox game was talking specifically about the league-wide feeling that they need the extra pitcher.
Yeah.
So, it's not just a Rocco thing. This is a managerial league-wide thing where with the way pitching is gone, we need the extra pitter. So I don't know.
I'm sure they are.
I agree with you. So.
I'm sure they're going to get it. So anyway, that's true. I was looking forward to that date, but they're whining. They'd rather whine and not have a bench, right? How about Ryan Jeffers getting 2 hits, though? My God.
I know.
Should
Passed
be a
out.
parade. And he
Yeah,
won the game for him, basically. Broke open the game. Unbelievable.
He doesn't have to do. I mean, he's not Gary Sanchez, but he's so good defensively compared to Sanchez that you just need him to run into a pitch every other night.
You know, I like Sanchez, but you do see the flaws. He's a lot more balls go to the backstop when he's catching than the one the other night that he threw out the guy at first base. I mean, he kind of backhanded that. It could have kept the game going right there. You could have lost that game but he did throw a rocket to first to get the out there. But you got to be blocking that pitch with the strike 3 to end the game, right? Isn't it?
And that play, Pat, got so ballied by Bramer because he's like, look at that rocket arm. That's And then they showed the replay and nobody volunteered up. You might want to try and block that baseball before. And poor LaTroy, I mean, these guys, I think, are all afraid to say, hey, the proper technique is to, and I got tweets back. Well, the guy was stealing. What was he supposed to do? Block the baseball, man.
Yes. Jeffers hadn't thrown anybody out all year, but somebody said to me, when are you guys going to start writing about that? I said, well, the guy that stole on him 2 nights ago, I said the second baseman would have had to have a taser to get him out because he could have stolen it standing up, for God's sakes. I mean, look at the play before you criticize a throw. He should have put it in his pocket. He had no chance to throw him out. So
yeah. By the way,
hey, those Guardians. What are we going to do about the Guardians, man? They won't.
Yeah, I feel like they always do this, right? It's like every 3 or 4 years. All right, we're going to strip it down.
Yeah.
We're going to payroll. We're going to get that payroll under $50 million, and then they win anyways because they just have a factory of pitchers coming up every year.
Everybody else who's stripped it down, Oakland has succeeded greatly. I mean, they're 22 games under 500.
Yeah.
Cubs stink. They're not spending any money. The Cubs are awful. Everybody else who tried to strip her down is working it well. The Pirates, they're terrible. But these guys somehow they get some decent pitching, and Bieber's coming back, from missing a year, right, Tommy John?
Yeah.
The other day I'm watching, he's up to about 115 pitches, and Francona still got him out there. All right, we gave you a month to get her in shape. Now, buddy, let's go here.
Yeah. Well, who was the Cardinals pitcher lost with 2 outs, 2 strikes in the 9th, and he was up to like 130 pitches fishing for a no-hitter?
I think 129 pitches he threw. Yeah. Rocco had to have chest pains over that, even though it wasn't his pitcher.
He called the Cardinals and said, "Get your guy out of there. What are you doing?"
Yeah, that is true. But I gotta say, as much as I've complained about this and that and the other thing, this beats the hell out of last season, doesn't it?
Oh my God!
That's what I said.
You already could not. You had to force yourself to go to a game. It was to even watch. You had to force yourself. So this is a lot better. Yeah.
Hey, Correa too. Correa just kind of under the radar. His batting average is over 300. He's got let me see here. I think he's got the 3rd highest OPS on the team now. He's just kind of nothing huge. The home runs haven't come yet, but he's just a couple hits here and there every night, and he's.
He rocketed that one down in the left field corner that kind of broke that game open yesterday. So he's really good. He's not. You don't see Cal Ripken Jr., who was kind of a position playing shortstop. You don't see many 6'4" shortstops who react as quickly as he does and have that great arm. And the thing about him, what his panic level is? 0.
Yeah.
He's never like, what am I going to do here? Well, he knows what he wants to do, and he's a really good player. And a lot of people are afraid he's going to be the Yankee shortstop next year, because as great as we all thought Kiner Falefa was here, the Yankees still, I think, feel as though Correa would be an upgrade. But then again, they're already well over the escrow number, so I don't know if they'll give him $40 million or not. But how about them, by the way? What are they? They're 30-some games over 500. Right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're.
Aaron Judge is on pace for like 66 home runs, I want to say.
Oh, they're
46 and 16 right now.
And Cole just breezed yesterday, and I saw the leads. After having one of the worst starts of his year, of his career against the Minnesota Twins, Garrett Cole.
Let's see. Here's the difference. When the Twins have never started 46-16, but when the Twins do something like this, it's like, oh, they're off to a hot start. Okay, maybe they can win a playoff game or a series, right? At this point, if the Yankees don't win the World Series, think about the pressure everyone feels there now, right? And I love Aaron Boone, but he's probably getting fired if they lose in the first round.
Well, last year they had a disappointing season. They made him fire half his coaching staff, all his buddies. So it's fun. And you know what? The nice thing about what's fun about baseball? To enjoy it and to bitch about it. That's it's a long season.
Yes.
There's just incredible numbers of opportunity to complain too. It's that's what makes it great. That's what makes 162 games great. You can make up your mind 7 or 8 different times on what you have on football. 4 or 5 games, you got a pretty good idea. Here we have no idea.
And Pat, that's what I told Phil. I said the great thing about this, and the reason why we're complaining so much about the Twins, is because we actually care. A year ago, we had all checked out.
Yeah, right.
We just didn't care. So people are like, "Oh, you're constantly talking about what they're doing wrong." That's a good thing. That means we care about them. If we don't care, we're talking about training camp. So,
hey, one last thing. This third baseman is really good in the field, isn't he? And he can make some plays.
Urshela. So here's the funny thing, and I my eyes tend to agree with you, and Judd brought the same thing up. And so we went on Baseball Savant, which is MLB has this big sort of analytical database. And the analytics don't like him at third. They think they say he can't go to his right, basically, especially against right-handed batters.
Went to his right pretty good on that wicked shot the other day. I wonder if the analytics take into account how hard a ball is hit, do they?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Judging range or not. I don't know if they've gotten to that. I like him a lot. He made a great play the other day, too, on a slow roller that could have raised hell in an inning, too. I think he's really good at third base. So,
yeah, he's
but Baseball Savant probably looks at every little movement, and I don't. I look like I watch and say, that was a big league play. That's what we call it. That's a big league play.
Yeah, I mean, he's not Nolan Arenado, but he's also not Miguel Sano or Luis Ariz. So
the thing about baseball from age 10 to 70 is getting the outs you should get at, and then getting a few that you shouldn't get. Right? I mean, making plays. I went to a high school game on the other day, Sibley East, which is Gaylord, Arlington, and those against Fairmont, and Sibley East gave away 5 outs, and they got beat 8-3. If you make your plays, it's a 2-1 game, 3-2 game. You got to make the plays.
Do you just go to random high school baseball games?
No, I went there. See, these were 2. It was a Class 2A state tournament game. Fairmont was the number 1 seed, and I just kind of like the idea of these 2 rich baseball area communities playing each other, and so. I went up to Dick Putz Field, and it made me very nostalgic because I could not have had more than 600 or 700 beers with Dick Putz when I was working in St. Cloud. Only drank 3-2. Wouldn't drink a strong beer, but he drank quantities.
Yeah, Putz is a volume drinker.
Good for him. Hey, what did you do to my St. Louis Park Club? You did a column on them and they immediately lost.
The Jinx worked. They got beat 10-0 yesterday.
I know what
in the
BSI Jinx.
That beat 5-2, and then in the consolation game,
thanks a lot.
Beat 10-0. I don't know
what'd
what
you do?
The hell happened.
Well, it's a consolation game.
Well, I don't know, but I mean the first round, like Pat writes this column, first time 71 years or whatever? 70 years, and they immediately get their ass.
Couldn't handle the pressure.
Well, they lost 5-2 to Maple Grove, which wasn't a shock, but yesterday they no-showed.
Yeah, we checked out.
Well, St. Louis Park natives, man, they can't handle the pressure in baseball. AM radio, Judd crumbled under the pressure.
Is playing for this. Are you going to be at Target Field tomorrow? Your alma mater playing for the state title.
What time?
4, I believe.
Oh boy, I might.
Put on some mesh shorts and get out
I
there,
might show up.
Zolgad.
I might show up. The only question is, will they allow me to throw out the first pitch or something nice to honor a famous alum? Because that's the question. I still can't believe I'm not in their athletic Hall of Fame.
Have they ever acknowledged you or asked you to come back for anything?
Because I don't donate anything, which they don't deserve. I went to poor Catholic kid.
I want to tell you what a humble man I am. The Prior Lake, I went to Prior Lake 1 year, right? I would have been a terrible football player, but I tore a ligament in my knee, so I didn't play football. Then I played basketball and was on a really below 500 team and was a starter on a below 500 team. In baseball, I was third baseman and doing okay, but I got thrown out for 2 weeks for drinking, right? With a couple of, back then it was only a 2-week suspension for beer drinking. They didn't really have the goods on us, but they just, they didn't have an eye.
Did you appeal? Is there an appeals process?
Yeah, you didn't really have anybody to appeal to. Well, they called me up like they were hard up 5-6 years ago, and they said they wanted to put me in the Prior Lake Athletic Hall of Fame, and I said, I don't think so. An injured bad football player, a mediocre basketball player, and a baseball player that got thrown off the team for drinking. I don't think so.
You turned it down. Wow.
I think we ought to pass on that.
I did stats for baseball, basketball, and wrote for the newspaper. I put that place on the map, and I'm still not in their Hall of Fame.
Right, yeah. Did you? You never actually played varsity, though, did you?
Are you
Wait, no.
kidding me?
Did you score varsity? Did you score for the varsity team?
Yeah, I scored baseball, basketball.
Oh, you were
and I wrote
scorekeeper. Oh,
I scorekeeper. Yeah,
Okay,
stats guy.
well,
I didn't
that's
play sports.
those
I
are
went to
harder
one
to
captain's
find.
practice in football.
those
I
are
was too
harder
tired.
to find than players. Scoring people.
Shot chart at home. Scorekeeper kept book on the road. Went on all those godforsaken bus trips. Minnesota Conference too, by the way. So the outpost, Lakeville, Prior Lake.
If you get in, then I should get my stepson in the Bunnell Hall of Fame. I went to a soccer game once, and they were playing Minneapolis Southwest and Minneapolis. Oh,
John Millay.
Oh, John Millay.
Hey, John Millay.
John
Say
Millay,
hi
speaking
for
of
me.
high school, let's
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan and his buddies were playing Minneapolis Southwest, which had all the Ocean kids, and the Ocean kids would make a sound like, hey, some little yip sound to each other for a pass. And they did a very fine job of mimic.
John Millay.
John,
But he's very persistent.
He's still waiting.
They did a very good job of mimicking the sound to get the Southwest kids kick the ball to them.
That's
That
not
John
nice.
Millay.
Okay, I'm gonna have to turn this phone off here.
Or we can let you talk to John Millay too.
No, I just wanted to ask him a question about getting in I'm got to go get in the ballpark early tomorrow. So anyway, hey, how about Wiggy? Tonight's the night. I think Boston will win, though, don't you?
So yeah, I agree. I think we're getting a game 7. Okay, what will it take? And it's possible that by the time some people hear this, that the series is over. But just for fun, how bad would Steph Curry have to be in a game 6-7, and how great would Wiggins have to be? Wiggins I think he's up to 18-1 now for NBA Finals MVP.
Now,
If Steph misses a bunch of threes again,
do they set the MVP on just how you play in the finals, or is it how you play through the playoffs?
just the finals.
Just the finals, okay. They don't have an official player of the Western Conference Finals, right? They don't have
Actually, they did this is the first year they did it.
Did he win it?
No,
I
think Steph did.
Did Steph win that one too?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think they had conference finals.
So 6 years of being a Timberwolf. His Timberwolf career high in rebounds was 11.
Mm-hmm.
He's grabbed 16 and 13 in back-to-back games in the NBA Finals.
He's unrecognizable. Defensively, he's unrecognizable.
Hand in everyone's face. It's amazing.
it is amazing. But hey, you and I were out there when they brought him to the state fair. We had the T-shirts, getting wiggy with it.
Getting wiggy with it. Yep.
Getting wiggy with it. We had the T-shirts. He came up to do our show with who came. They brought him to a thing, and people.
He did. So I think he did sports talk. I think he did sports talk with you and Joe, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and he walked up on the platform, and people were going crazy. And I had to tell Joe who he was, but
Yeah, but once you did that, it was all good.
yes,
So wise.
yeah.
Oh man.
Do you know when this started, Patrick? This started about 2 years back or so, though, when Phil Mackey took a recording device to Wolves Media Day and sat down with Wiggy and said, "I've criticized you before, but it looks like you're gonna work harder or something."
It was honestly, it was one of the, it was great. He he doesn't follow super closely because he's kind of aloof, but like he knew that, okay, I'm sitting down with this Mackey guy, and we sat there for 15 minutes, and I just said, all right, obviously, and our audience knows how hard I've been on you. Let's have a conversation. And, I came away thinking, I don't know if he's going to ever emerge into the version that we all hope he can be, but he seems like a good guy, at least. I'm going to back off him a little bit.
There. He was a lot more popular than Cat with his teammates, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like Jimmy Butler in the end was actually pretty fond of Andrew Wiggins and not so much of Carl Anthony.
Do you think he's an introvert? I think that might be part
Wiggins?
of it. Don't you? Yeah. I think he's an introvert. I think
he likes to go home, play video games, and he's not a big social media guy. He's not.
Maybe Vap a little. One of those two. So
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, no, never. He would never do that.
Hey, wouldn't it be nice if Russia let Brittany Griner come home? What the hell?
Yeah,
they think they're going to win the war because they're keeping Brittany Griner in prison.
Well, they're just doing it. They're just doing it to be asses. I mean, that's what, right?
Yeah. Well, I'd say they've demonstrated their assnum pretty well here in the last several months. So
yeah, I think you're right.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, Pat. All right, we'll see you on. I guess we'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Rocco has a day off today. The boys can get off their feet. It'll be fantastic.
Yep, just stay on the couch in the hotel.
Out of that heat. Arizona, baby.
Yep.
It's going to be hot.
All right, that's wrapping with Reusse, presented by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. We've lost AJ to the GoPro gremlins
here
on the YouTube channel. But Federated has been around for over 100 years, helping business owners. There's a full list of industries that they work with. And so if you want some of the best frontline protection, risk management tools and resources to maximize the success of your business, check them out, federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. Wrapping with Reusse. See you guys.